So the park is a part of the magic too, you think?
Oh, definitely. I have to say, when I go do the television spots in the morning, I love
Yeah.
the backdrop of having like the beautiful green grass and the river
Uh-huh.
back there and the fountain, and it always comes up, and it's just it is really magical.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, I call it like a Cinderella effect of there's nothing happening, and then all of a sudden it all just kind of blossoms out of the ground, and the hustle and bustle comes, and it's great. And then again at the end of the evening, when everybody disappears, it kind of
Uh-huh.
quiets down again, and it is
Yeah.
very magical that way.
You heard that there. That is Hedy Lane, the coordinator of the Leeper Park Art Fair, talking about the magic behind hosting the art fair at historic Leeper Park. More of that later, but first, thank you for listening to another episode of Round the Bend Now and Then. My name is Matt Emery, and I'm a local history nerd. My main mission in this podcast, as well as other Round the Bend material, is to create engaging content that shares how intertwined the South Bend and Mishawaka area's past is to our present. In the podcast, I interview local leaders, business owners, and community members to help tell their stories, because their stories help tell the story of South Bend and Mishawaka. For nearly 6 decades, artists, art lovers, and curious visitors have gathered beneath the trees of historic Leeper Park for one of South Bend's most beloved traditions, the Leeper Park Art Fair. What began in 1967 as a small gathering of artists displaying their work in the park has grown into a nationally recognized art fair, attracting talented artists from across the country and thousands of visitors each year. But this event is about much more than paintings, pottery, and sculptures. It's about people. It's about the artist who spends months creating a piece and then gets the chance to share the story behind it. It's about patrons who return year after year to reconnect with their favorite artists. It's about the conversations, friendships, inspiration, and the connections that happen along the winding paths of one of South Bend's most beautiful and historic parks. In this episode, I'm joined by Leeper Park Art Fair coordinator, Hedy Lane. We talk about the origins of the fair, some of the dedicated individuals and legends who have helped build it into what it is today, and why Leeper Park provides the perfect backdrop for an event like this. You'll hear how artists from all over the United States make the journey to South Bend each June, and why some visitors come specifically to see certain artists year after year, and how the fair helps artists earn a living while also giving them an opportunity to engage with the public, answer questions, inspire future artists, and also share their passion. We'll also hear about some more memorable moments from the fair's history, including the infamous toilet paper debacle of 2021 during the first fair after COVID. And beyond the art itself, we'll discuss the impact the fair has on our community, from supporting local restaurants and hotels to bringing thousands of visitors into South Bend each summer. If you've ever wondered what it takes to put on an event like this, or if you've ever considered participating as an artist yourself, Hedy shares how you can get involved. The Leeper Park Art Fair this year returns Saturday, June 20th and Sunday, June 21st. To learn more, visit leeperparkartfair.org. A link is in the show notes. Before we dive into the conversation, I'd like to thank the sponsors who make Round the Bend Now and Then possible: Danbury Insurance, MT Box Computers, and In Rug Co. Studio and Gift Shop. I'm so very thankful for all of your support. Before we get started, we'll start with letting me tell you why I've trusted Danbury Insurance for more than 2 decades. I've been working with Danbury Insurance for over 25 years, and I can tell you from personal experience that they're the real deal. In a world where customer service can feel like a lost art, they've always taken care of me the right way, every single time. They're a locally owned agency with deep roots in our community, and that matters. When you call them, you're not getting a call center somewhere. You're talking to people who live here, who care about this area, and who genuinely want to help you and protect what matters most. Whether it's home, auto, business, or life insurance, they take the time to walk you through your options and make sure you're covered the right way, not just the easy way. If you're looking for an insurance agency you can trust, I highly recommend giving Danbury Insurance a call, or check them out online at danburyinsurance.com and tell them that Round the Bend sent you. Again, a big thanks to Dan Barry Insurance for supporting the show and for taking care of folks in our community the way they always have. And now, back to the episode. All right. Well, hey, Hedy, thank you for joining us. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Happy to be here.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you went to high school, all that good stuff?
Definitely. So I'm actually an East Coast girly. I'm from
Okay.
Northern Virginia. And I moved to South Bend, I think like in 2018, 2019, and
Okay.
lived there for about 4 years. I'm in Chicago now, but I just can't seem to get away from Leeper Park Art Fair. Helps you out. So I come back every year for that. But yeah, I was recruited kind of and asked to help out because it seems like not a lot of people want to take on these larger tasks, and I
Okay.
was happy to do it, and I just kind of
Yeah.
like, keep coming back.
Awesome. Awesome. So when was your first Leeper Park art fair?
My first one that I started show running was the year we actually had to cancel because of COVID.
Oh,
So I had been planning all year, and then it came down to the beginning of May, and we just weren't sure because at that time we just didn't know anything about what was going on. And
right,
we
right.
noticed the trend other fairs were starting to cancel, and we had to make that decision, and we ended up deciding not
Mm,
to do it. And so all of the hard work we had done, we kind of had to just kind of call it a wash for that year.
mm-hmm.
And, obviously things settled down the next year, and that was one of the best years Leaper Park has had. One, because, at that time everyone was so excited to get back out there.
Yes.
And I made a lot of executive decisions, like we're not going to advertise because we hadn't had any money from the year before. And
Right, right.
some of those things that really worked out well for us and kind of put us in a great financial position for
Hmm.
for the last, few years that we've been doing it. But that was my first one.
Welcome.
Yeah, I know,
Welcome to the
right?
Leeper Park Art Fair. It's COVID.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this year's Leeper Park Art Fair first, and then we can kind of talk about some context and kind of go back. When is this year's Leeper Park Art Fair?
Definitely. So this year's Leaper Park Art Fair is June 20th and 21st.
Okay.
Father's Day is falling a little bit later this year, which is perfectly fine.
Uh-huh.
And it is the Saturday, Sunday. Always starts at 10 o'clock, and
Okay.
Saturday will go till 6. Sunday we end at 5 o'clock.
Got it. Got it. Hey, what can people expect if they've never been?
Oh, if they've never been, they will definitely, hopefully, be
Uh-huh.
amazed by all of the fine arts. And that's really what we pride ourselves on.
Okay.
That you're not going to find crafty kind of things, which I know a lot of people like. So if you're
Got it.
coming to Leaper, you're coming to look at actual fine arts things. And it may be on different mediums. Like we have beautiful hand dyed silk pillows
Uh-huh.
and beautiful scarves and textiles. And then we have really fun, like huge metal sculptures. So a
Yeah.
huge wide array, but we do class everything as the fine arts.
Okay, okay. You just wanna differentiate between just, like, a more craft show and then more of the fine arts.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright. Is there anything new and exciting or any new partnerships this year that's going on with the Leeper Park Art Fair?
Yeah, so we actually we're super excited about this, and this is
Uh-huh.
something that the committee and I have been talking about for the last couple years is
Okay.
how do we start breathing new life into not just Leaper Art Fair, but into the art communities that we've
Yeah.
got going on, like the NIA or the NIPS or the Watercolor Society, which are all kind of like old school,
Mhm.
but we really need some more patronage to those things. So we're actually teaming up with the
Okay.
Robinson Center.
Got it.
And like I said, we've been talking about this for years. We
Uh-huh.
didn't know which way to go, and they actually reached out to us. And it happened to be one of my girlfriends from junior league, so we're really
Yeah.
excited. So, small world, but it's working out. And so what this is, we're going to call it the youth booth, and it is going to showcase student artwork.
Okay.
And we're even, we're still kind of in the idea stage, but we
Mhm.
know that they will be there for sure.
Got it.
And they're going to participate, and it's going to be a great learning experience for them because they're going to have to figure out how to do the taxes and how to have like if they have like a square up or something for
Uh-huh.
selling and how they're going to handle that. So very excited for them. Also
That's
exciting for
great.
us to have maybe a younger a younger vibe
Yeah.
happening. Yeah.
Pass it on, pass the love on, and hopefully when they're there, they'll they'll feel the love, experience it, and continue as they grow up to participate. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's cool for sure. All right, I'm a history dork, a local history nerd. But how far back does the Leeper Park Art Fair go?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I've gone back and I've read a bunch of the articles and I've seen some of like the earliest pictures, and it started with a small group of
Uh-huh.
watercolor society members,
Yeah.
and they just kind of like laid their stuff out on the benches near the duck pond. And then it just kind of grew from there. And honestly, I it was by word of mouth mostly of
Okay.
like, "Hey, I'm doing this thing this weekend, like, you wanna come hang out and do it too?" And
Yeah.
so they just did that, and, as you know, many Midwesterners are snowbirds, and so they will
Mhm.
winter in the South, and so there's a lot of, our older school kind of artists that
Right.
they do that, but they also would go down there and talk to their art friends down there, and so
Okay.
that's why you might see we have a slight increase of, like, Floridians who
Yeah.
are doing the art fair too, and we still
That's
have
neat
several of
though.
them. Yeah, it is really neat, coming from the opposite end of the country.
Yeah, all the way up to sunny Florida to sunny South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah.
And now, a brief word from one of our sponsors. Your business relies on technology, but technology needs protection. Our managed IT and cybersecurity services act like your own in-house security team, monitoring and defending your systems 24/7. We just don't fix problems, we prevent them. Local service, real experts, real security. Call MT Box Computers today at 574 277 2775 or head to their website to learn more. www.mtboxcomputers.com. A link to the website is in this episode's show notes. Thank you, MT Box Computers, for all of your support of our content. I'm so very appreciative and glad to spread the good word about your work. And now, back to the episode. Earlier, you did mention the Watercolor Society. Talk about their role over the years, or what's their role with the art fair?
Yeah, so technically, the St. Joe Valley Watercolor Society are
Mhm.
our sponsor.
Okay,
And so what that means is that they were the founding members,
got
and
it.
they created a whole nother, nonprofit to kind of handle the fair.
Okay,
But they are our inspiration,
got
and
it.
it was really a way for them to like kind of showcase their own thing,
Yeah.
and it just grew from there. And
Uh-huh.
one of my favorite things is, every one of these groups has their own bylaws, and to be a member of the Watercolor Society, there's the one major rule. And
Uh-huh.
it isn't that you have to be a watercolorist, and it isn't anything that you would think. It's to be a lover of art, which I thought so sweet.
That is a wonderful application process.
Yeah, I mean,
You just have to
like,
be a
to be a
lover of
lover of
art.
art. Yeah, and so some people who are members aren't actually watercolors, they just, like, love art so much that they wanted to be a part of a group, and I think that that's one amazing thing about Leapers, that we are a big community, and,
Yeah,
whether I see the same faces every year or it's new faces, the one comment I get from people is, like, that they really enjoy coming here is because we make it feel like home.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome. It's the relationships then. It's the relationships and it's the people that keeps them coming back. That's a good feeling.
yeah, definitely.
Now, when I was reading up on the Leeper Park Art Fair, again, I'm more of a lover of art instead of an artist, but uh I read like it's a juried show. What does that mean? Talk to us. Why is that important?
Yeah, so it's actually, interesting because a lot of art shows are not juried, and we are juried because we are a
Okay.
fine art specific show, and so what that means is we've got a group of top secret people that I will never tell you who they are, but
Okay.
all of the applications we get in
Mhm.
are reviewed on a blind basis. So they don't
Okay.
know the names of the people. They are
Mhm.
looking solely at the art. And a few other requirements are, give us a shot of what your booth looks like, but you
Okay.
can't be in it. Don't attach your name to it or anything. So it's very unbiased in that
Okay.
way. And they score on a point system. And so depending on how many people are in each category and how many people are scoring, those things is a point system. So we'll say, like, if I have 35 people who
Okay.
submit applications into the mixed media area, they're going to be on it, and I have like 8 people scoring. They're going to be like on an 8-point system, and the higher you score, obviously, the better. And we're only able to take a certain number of artists, and then even less depending on if this artist wants a single booth or a double booth, because we're limited by space, of course. And so one interesting thing I've seen in the last few years is our point system keeps going up and up because we are scoring more and more applicants. And so
Okay.
it's actually getting really difficult to get in.
Yeah.
And so the artists that you see are amazing artists, and
Yeah.
they have scored really high. And sometimes it comes down to like a tenth of a point.
Wow.
Sometimes I'm reading things like 8.1345. And it's like, it's wild. And then, it's so hard. And of course, I'm fielding all of the, do you have any comments and notes? Why didn't I get in? I got in last year. I didn't get in, these kinds of things. And I'm like having to
Ooh.
go back through this entire spreadsheet looking for, any kind of
Feedback or
comments,
whatever to
feedback.
give
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
And so I try to do that. But yeah, it's hard, but it makes our show one of the better shows in the Midwest.
So, yeah, when I was reading that, it's not like artists can just show up and set up shop. I mean, you have to literally apply, and the process is a lot more, not grueling, but it's a lot easier than, or a lot harder than just showing up. I mean,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
That's awesome, and that's a good, I guess that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it is a good thing. I mean, it's us bringing you the best, and
Yes.
it is, I mean, if you're gonna be an artist, you have to receive feedback. So
Of
you're gonna
course.
have to, like, be able to handle rejection sometimes.
Yes.
And, we hate to do it. We'd like everybody to come, but it's just
Uh-huh.
not possible, and so this is the
Right.
best way that we have to determine who's coming.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um The I was reading too, the Leeper Park Art Fair has gotten some, like, recognition over the years nationally, is that right?
Yeah, so we are always ranked in the Sunshine Artist Magazine
Okay.
best art shows, and last year we were ranked number 34 out of 200, and it's
Nice.
it's national, so
Uh-huh.
this entire country we are number 34,
Right.
and it's the artists that rank this. So that if that tells you anything about how
That's
they
cool.
feel about coming to our show,
That's cool.
they like it well enough that we are consistently in the top somewhere.
That's that's also a lot more meaningful and a lot more authentic because artists who get to experience different art shows around, they're ranking us up there. That's great, man. That's awesome. This episode of Round the Bend Now and Then is brought to you by In Rug Co. Studio and Gift Shop, one of the most unique and creative small businesses that you'll find anywhere in our area. Located right on Mishawaka Avenue, directly across the street from Central Park, In Rug Co. isn't your typical shop. It's part studio, part gallery, and part experience. They specialize in handcrafted, one-of-a-kind rugs and home goods that you simply won't find anywhere else. Whether you're looking to add something bold to your home, find a truly original gift, or just want to browse and be inspired, this is the kind of place that you've got to see for yourself. And now, they've added something extra sweet right next door with Talking Horse Ice Cream Stand. After you check out the shop, walk over and grab some ice cream. It's the perfect pairing for a summer stop along Mishawaka Avenue. If you haven't stopped in yet, make it a point. Head over to In Rug Co. Studio and Gift Shop, right across the street from Central Park in Mishawaka. And don't forget to check out Talking Horse Ice Cream Stand while you're there. Learn more at indianarugco.com. Support local, support creativity, and tell them that Round the Bend sent you. What do artists say about this show compared to others around the country?
Yeah, so and this is one thing that as the front showrunner, I go around. What I do is I make sure I talk to
Okay.
every single artist that comes to our fair, and I see them at least one time over the weekend, and I make sure I
Uh-huh.
hit every single booth, because as Leeper Park Art Fair, we are doing a two-pronged hospitality kind of
Okay.
thing, right? So not only are we trying to make sure that the show is amazing for all of the South Bend patrons and anybody who comes to the fair, we're also making sure that we are being extremely hospitable to the artists, because
Yeah.
without them, we have nothing to show you.
Uh-huh.
So, it's a very kind of dual role here. So I make sure I go to all the artists and I check in with them a couple times over the weekend. And there are a few things that they absolutely love about our show.
Yeah.
One is that we are not on an asphalt street.
Okay.
The artists love being in our park because we have
Yeah.
sidewalks in between them and they're on the grass. It's nice and shady in most of the
Yep.
park, and it's not hard on their feet, and it's not
Right.
just like, vibrating the sun up at them. So that's one of the major things. The other thing is
Yeah.
they love the fact that it's set away from the hustle and the bustle.
Okay.
And so when people are walking through this park, they're not competing with, building sound and the heavy highway and all that kind of stuff. And they love that it is set back.
Yeah.
And another thing is that we get consistently, which is a huge shout out to my entire team, is
Uh-huh.
that they love what we provide for them.
Okay.
So when they arrive on Friday and they start unloading everything, we have an artist dinner for them set up so that they can just set everything up and work on it and not worry about how they're going to feed themselves or
Of
if they could go
course.
somewhere and do that. And then on Saturday morning to kick things off, we have breakfast for them as well. So
That's
again,
cool.
they can be there, be ready, and they don't have to go other places. And those are just a few of the things that I get lots of feedback. And they love that we still provide booth sitting, which means if somebody's doing their show solo, they can count on one of us to be in their booth and protect the area so they can go get some lunch or they
Yeah.
can go to the bathroom
Bathroom.
or something. Yeah, definitely. So those are the things that I think set us apart from a lot of the other shows.
Just the little things.
The little bit. Yeah.
It's just the little things that keep them coming back, and you mentioned also the park itself. I mean, Leeper Park, it's an historic park, it's, shaded, it's green grass, and it's been renovated in the past, I don't know, what, 7 or 8 years, but like you said, like the sidewalks there, so
Yeah.
do you think so the park is a part of the magic too, you think?
Oh, definitely. I have to say when I go do the television spots in the morning, I love
Yeah.
the backdrop of having, like, the beautiful green grass and the river
Uh-huh.
back there and the fountain, and it always comes up, and, it is really magical.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I call it like a Cinderella effect of there's nothing happening, and then all of a sudden, it all just kind of blossoms out of the ground, and the hustle and bustle comes, and it's great. And then again, at the end of the evening, when everybody disappears, it kind of
Uh-huh.
quiets down again, and it is
Yeah.
very magical that way.
That's cool. Yeah, my wife and I and my sons, we've always gone. I mean, we're not it's not like I'm a big art dealer or anything, but we just love the ambiance. We love the people. We love seeing the different shops or the different stands set up, in Leeper Park. And since they've renovated it, it's like the sidewalks are kind of make it a little bit easier to navigate a bit too. So
Yeah.
when I was reading through some of the articles about the Leeper Park Art Fair, it seems there's a few names, there's just a few legends who probably deserve to get acknowledged. Are there any artists or organizers who've been a part of this for decades?
Oh, yeah. So I will talk about my predecessor a little bit. Her name's Judy Ladd, and
Okay.
she is one of these amazing artists that goes to Florida and comes back. And for 25 years,
Dang.
she ran this fair. So she did what I'm doing now,
Yeah.
but she did it from Florida. So she's amazing that way of like making this fair kick off without a hitch for 25 years from a
Yeah.
completely different place. And
Wow.
she is still exhibiting at our show every year. You can find her. Judy does
Aw.
jewelry, and
Okay.
just amazing, amazing, and was so helpful when we transitioned over to my leadership, and
Yeah.
has been super helpful anytime we need anything. She was there.
That's cool.
Another name that comes up is Joan Tweedo,
Okay.
and she actually was in the South Bend Trib a few years ago because it was one of her last years before she retired and kind of moved away from South Bend. And she did some pottery and painting, and it was absolutely amazing because
Aw.
with us letting everybody know that this might be the last time she was going to
Uh-huh.
have her artwork, um, she sold out, and it was like
Aw.
people came for her.
That's
And
cool.
we have several artists that people come to see them, to talk to them,
That's
to
neat.
ask about their family, and we love that. And
Yeah.
we also have many artists who come even from North Carolina. Janet Lazenby does pottery, and so does Joe Chom, who is a longtime South Bend
Okay.
um, South Bend patron, and it is nice, and I love it too. I get to see the same people every year, and
Right.
if I miss people, they have my phone number. They're like, "Hey, I know you saw my application, but I just want to let you know I'm coming." And I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "I'm This is the only one I'm coming out of the state for." I'm like, "Great, I will see you there." And people
That's
ask for
cool.
them too. I get emails all year long asking like, "Oh, is so and so going to be there?" Or,
Wow.
I got this thing like 10 years ago and I can't remember the artist's name, but this is where their booth was. Just like
Wow.
the amazing memory that this kind of stuff instills in people is amazing.
And it just goes to show that it's about people, it's
Yeah.
about relationships, and for a patron of the art fair a few years ago to wanna come back just to see a certain person, I mean, that's awesome, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really neat. Over the years, has there been any maybe that you have particularly experienced or stories or any type of Leeper Park Art Fair lore? Are there any more memorable moments, funny, unexpected stories, anything like that?
Oh, the great toilet paper debacle of 2021.
Let's hear it.
Oh, so I this was like the first year we're like getting it off the ground. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's finally come to fruition," because we had to cancel the year before. We're
Yeah.
out here. I'm like, we're like killing it, right? We're doing such a great job. And then all of a sudden I have somebody come like, "Hey, Hetty, there's no toilet paper in that porta potty over there." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And like I am like, "What?" "What
Right.
do you mean?" And it's Saturday morning. So, like, we
Yep,
just started. And I'm
yep.
like, "Okay, well, please direct yourself over to these other ones, whatever." And then somebody comes in, like, some of the porta potties at the other end of the park are out of toilet paper. And I'm like, "Oh my god." And all of my committee members, they're also artists. So they are busy at their booths.
Yes,
And this is
yes.
my first year. And I'm like, "This cannot be how you go down, Hetty. You cannot lose it on toilet paper." And so I immediately get on the phone and I'm like calling the company. I'm like, "I need you to get out here right
Yep.
now." Because I don't know if anybody knows this, but in most porta potties, the toilet dispenser is locked. So even if I had toilet paper on hand,
You
I
couldn't get in
can't
there to
install it.
oh my.
So I'm like calling the venue Parks and Arts. I'm like, "Hey, does anybody happen to have a porta potty key?"
Yeah.
And I'm like sending somebody's, they're running to go get toilet paper. And of course, it's the weekend, so the rental company is like not they're on emergency,
Mm. Yep.
emergency sign. I'm like, "I need you to get out here now." And so finally, when someone got out there, I was like, "Leave all of it and
Yes.
leave me the key."
Yes.
So I'm happy to say we have not run into that issue, and I better knock on some wood before I jinx myself for this year. But yeah, so that I think that was like one of the funniest things that happened so far.
And anytime you have large gatherings of people, of anything could go you
Yeah,
never know.
you never know.
Wow, that's, the great toilet paper debacle. If you could just talk about a general vibe, just a general, just vibes over the weekend, what would that be?
Um, I I think people are pretty happy. Good weather always makes people excited to be out and about.
True.
So that's, I always keep my fingers crossed, and it's a tradition. I just don't look at the weather the entire
Yeah.
week leading up to it. But the vibes are, people wanting to make those connections, right? Like
Okay.
I get so many people and they just want to come talk.
Yep.
Even if they don't, even if they're not buying anything per se, or they don't come out to buy something,
Right.
they're coming out to be in the world and to make a connection with somebody and
Yep.
to maybe see somebody they know
Mhm.
and to reconnect, connect for the first time, learn something. And I always say the artists are all so happy to answer any questions. If you want to ask them about how it is to work with the medium they work with, or what inspired them to make that painting, or, how in the world do they make these clay pots that look like this? And,
Yeah.
they are so happy to answer it because that's, not only they're there to sell, like it is their livelihood, but they're there to inform as well.
Right.
And they are all so excited and thrilled to share what they know.
That's neat. That's really cool. If you could walk around and hear people whispering to each other like a family, if you hear a mom whispering to the dad or a mom whispering to the kids, what do you hope that they're saying?
Oh, um, I love to hear those whispers of like, "Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Like, I wish I could do that. I want to do that." Or,
Yeah.
you know, the little children saying, "I really want that," and, like, the best thing is like, "Okay, I'll buy it for you."
Yeah, that's
Like,
the
yeah, thumbs up, right? But no, just that really, like, genuine
yeah.
inquisitiveness and
Huh,
curiosity is my favorite thing to hear, because if I hear it, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, well, this is my buddy, like, let's go ask him." Like, come on,
yeah.
So
What kind of an impact do you think the art fair has for the local community?
oh, I mean, I South Bend is so good about bringing so many things, and so
Okay.
they're very used to it, and we have Notre Dame and have tons of stuff
Uh-huh.
happening all the time in this town. So, I think, besides, like, the obvious, like, we're bringing in some people and maybe,
Right.
getting some money for the hotels and the restaurants
Uh-huh.
and things. Besides that, I think that what we do is give artists a space to
Got it.
make that livelihood
Yeah.
that it's kind of just, like, not a popular thing anymore,
Uh-huh.
right? Like, there's very few people who are like, "I'm gonna be a painter when I grow up."
Right.
Or, you'll hear children say, "I'm gonna be an artist." And then, when they're a little older and reality is like, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
really challenging."
Mm,
And to do that, and so the ability to give this entire community, the
yeah.
art community, a space that they can make a livelihood off of it.
Mhm.
And, yes, they have to travel to many fairs,
Right.
and we are one of many on a circuit, and
Okay.
that is what we do, but to be able to contribute to that and give them
Yep.
a space, because we have many dedicated patrons in South Bend who come to buy specific things from people. It's just a great way to be able to contribute in that sense.
100%. 100% agree. Getting involved, so if somebody is an artist out there listening, we talked about the jury selection and everything. In the future, how can they participate?
Yeah, so there's a lot of ways. If you're an artist and you think you're ready to, like, go for that booth at Leaper, every December, our
Okay.
applications open on
Okay.
zapplication.com, and they're open for 3 months. So they close March 1st,
Mhm.
so December to March, and, try your hand, see what
Yep.
happens.
Yep.
If that isn't kind of what you're leaning towards, because we have many artists who doing a booth and everything is a lot, it's a big
Mhm.
commitment. I say join one of the local groups. So we
Okay.
have the NIPS, which is the Northern Indiana Pastel Society.
Okay.
We have the St. Joe Valley Watercolor Society. So many letters, guys.
Yes.
And then there's the NIA, which is the Northern Indiana Artists. I'm pretty sure I got that one right. We might have to double check that.
Okay.
But those are the three major kind of art groups that are
Got it.
in South Bend, and they all are very kind to one another. This isn't like a you know
It's not
competition
cutthroat.
thing.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
no,
survivor.
no. But it's definitely the best way to get involved, because if you do that, you have access to knowing where there are smaller shows, and and putting some things in, like, the botanical gardens kind of out in the country a
Yeah.
little, those kinds of things. So it's a great way to get involved on a low stakes, low
Yep.
pressure kind of way. And then I always love having as many volunteers as I can.
Okay.
As you can imagine, a lot of our artists are a little older, and
Mhm.
um, they might need help unloading their things and loading them
Mhm.
back in. And booth sitters, I always can use more of those too. So, and normally I draw from those art communities
Okay.
to fill those spaces, but those are definitely the best ways to get involved. And if you're in South Bend and you want to do something, that's how to do it.
Awesome, awesome. And, your contact information is on the website?
It is on the website.
Perfect, and I'll be
Use
I'll be sh
sparingly.
Well, I'll be sure to include the website in the show notes also, just
Yeah.
to continue to spread the word about it, and if folks have questions, they can reach out. All right, we'll start wrapping it up here. So why should people make it a point to attend this year, Hedy?
I think it's, something fun to do. I
Okay.
try to think I bring the good weather when I come back to
All
South
right.
Bend. So, it's a nice thing to make a day of, right?
Yeah.
Take your dad out to breakfast, or take your special person out, and then come hang out with us a little bit, look around, breathe in that nice fresh air, look at the beautiful things, maybe spend a buck or two.
Definitely, most definitely. Is there anything else you want to tell the listeners at all about the Leeper Park Art Fair?
I think just, come and have fun. I
Mhm.
often get a cute little child maybe playing a violin in the
Okay.
afternoon or lots of delicious food.
Yes.
Again, just like an easy thing that you don't have to think about, but there's a
Yes.
lot to look at and think about at the end, I guess.
100%. And again, it's about our community, and these things are great for our community to get people together, a positive event. And so definitely encourage our listeners to check it out.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. Well, hey, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you once again for listening to another episode of Round the Bend Now and Then. An extra special thanks to Hedy Lane for joining us and telling us all of the reasons you should come out and enjoy the Leeper Park Art Fair. Join us again next time to learn more about South Bend and Mishawaka's Now and Then.